Hey everyone, so we're back in automation. I was messing around a little bit earlier and I figured out that you can fit a 16-liter V12 into this Camaro body, so why not? Let's do that. For the sake of things not exploding, I think we should probably attempt to make this as unrealistic as possible. So what you can do is you can go a V60 degree V12 and then just crank up the displacement to the max, and it does not give you any warnings unless you're going front wheel drive, which we're obviously not. So yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting. I'm very excited to see what this is like. Right, so moving forward, we're going billet everything as good as it can be. As far as I know, this is the most amount of power you can get in the game, but I can't say that as for certain because I'm sure that somebody's been able to do more. Right, so we're cruising at a pretty decent 1,100 horsepower, but for an engine of this weight, it weighs quite a bit. This engine alone weighs almost as much as our 50 horsepower ultralight car. So yeah, let me just tweak this a little bit. I need to quickly look at what is restricting it. So the exhaust, apparently. Okay, so the exhaust was a significant restriction because now, as soon as I cranked it up, it's making almost 2,000 horsepower. I don't exactly remember where I had this last time, so we'll just have to play with things. As far as I know, the fuel mixture was all the way up, and so was the ignition timing. Right, so we're hovering around 1,900 horsepower, but I want to do better than that. So I'm thinking that we'll just have to just start raising some of these sliders up and see where it takes us. Unfortunately, it seems like our compressor and also turbine are causing us issues and restrictions, but we can't make them any bigger. They're as big as they can be. Just a little bit odd. So I kind of messed it up. I took off the turbo and then I put it back on again and it seems to have ruined it somehow. So I'm just kind of going through and just checking everything to make sure it's where it should be. Oh, there it is. Gotta change it to ball bearing. So we're up to 2,500 again. Oh boy, here we go. I found it. Turns out the fuel mixture was too high. Goodness, we have got some serious power just hidden in here. Alright, so we're up to 2,865. I'm going to ignore the pistons and the conrods and the crank just because I want to have that like sweet horsepower number at the end of this. Oh my goodness, it's getting real close. So it turns out the max boost was just a touch high, and I think everything else is probably... Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is where I'm going to stop. We now have a 2,900 horsepower, 3,169 Newton meters of torque. This thing is an absolute beast. This is the most powerful car I have made in this game. Alright, we're not going to listen to it, we're going to avoid that. It's too bad we can't make the compressor and the turbine bigger. I guess that's just a restriction within the game, but here is our beautiful creation. Now, I'm not sure if this raises weight or not, but we're going to crank this stuff up. We're going to try and make this like the nicest vehicle possible. I'm going to spend some time trying to get this done right, just to get it to be something that looks good but also drives well, which is going to be extremely difficult because of how much power it has. Alright, so I think I have the colors down. We're just going to go for like a dark red, and we'll just have it a nice wine red with light colored wheels. I think that's probably the best it's going to get, but here's where it gets tricky. I was actually practicing with different trims before, trying to get the right sort of shape of things that I wanted to, but it is much harder than it seems, so I'm going to spend some time on this. Let's see what I can do. That actually doesn't look bad. I'm honestly very surprised. So I've got, forgot to put this on the upper layer. So I've got these headlights in here. I'm just trying to match the curvature of the bumper. And then this this grille in here as well, which is quite nice. Maybe we can change the pattern. That's not going to work, but I think it looks okay as is. And then we have turn signals as well, because these lights don't have turn signals. It looks a little sad, but it doesn't look bad. Overall, pretty okay with that. So if we skip ahead to drivetrain, and I'm thinking we go all-wheel drive, you'll see that the the engine sticks out of the hood because it's just so massive. And also its turbos are in the wheels, but let's just ignore that. The intake is sticking out of the there, so we're gonna have to cover that up somehow. I've done it previously with a bump in the hood, just putting one of these in here, but this thing is so big that that's not even gonna do it. Like, the bump in the hood isn't gonna cover it. So I'm not 100% on how we're gonna do this. I'd like to mask it somehow, but it doesn't seem to matter. Oh wow. Goodness, well, I did not think that those could get that big. It doesn't seem to matter what I put on there, it's just not going to go away. So here's what I've come up with for the front end. I think it looks okay. I'm still debating on this trim piece. I don't know. You know what? I think without it, it actually looks pretty okay. One thing that we did not do at the beginning was, we did not widen the fenders on this car. I know that that's just going to be a necessity when we actually get to building it, but yeah. So this is what the front of this thing looks like. My goodness, we have been making some wide cars recently, though. I am shocked at how wide this is. But here's what the front end looks like. I think it's a little ugly, but it's not terrible. We are going to put a symbol there, like a decal. Not a decal, but an emblem is what I meant to say. I guess we'll probably just put an emblem like this. And then we'll have our own thing on there. Or maybe we'll just put one directly on the grill. Okay, so next order of business is to figure out what the heck to do with this hood. Because right now, I don't like that the intake sticks out of it. But I also don't have anything that comes up high enough to block off the intake. So, goodness, I don't know what we're going to do about this one. So I talked before about putting a scoop on there. None of the scoops are big enough. They just still show it. So if this car just has a real long scoop on it, and it has a little bit of a bump in it as well for some reason, not exactly sure why that is. Yeah, it does hide the thing, the intake. Goodness, that scoop is bad though. Oh wow. Oh geez. Okay, let's get rid of that. What about just a flat one? A flat one will almost do it. I'm having the same issue of it bubbling up in the center for some reason. I don't exactly know why that is, but it is a thing that's happening. It looks a little bit better, but it's also not quite high enough, so we are actually going to go for the big scoop. But what I'm going to do is make the hood still look decent, because right now it just looks like what the heck is going on? Alright, so we're going to leave that as is. It's a functional modification, okay? That is a functional modification, but we also need some other things to just kind of liven up the hood a little bit, because right now it does not look right. What I've been doing to most of my more recent cars is this. I like these corner scoops. I think they look pretty decent on most cars. And this one, okay, we'll leave that for now. We'll come back to it. We'll figure out what we're going to do with that in a bit. Now on to this side. I really am trying to make this as normal as possible, and it is a significant challenge with the way that this thing is. It's just so oddly shaped. I really should download some mod mirrors and such. Alright, I think I'm just going to go with these, and we're going to get rid of that. We'll just make it white. In my experience, in making these videos, these lights on the mirrors are classified as headlights. I don't know why, it's very odd, but that's just the case. Right, so I think that we need some kind of vent on the side. This is just far too empty here. I'm always afraid of overstyling cars. I feel that that's a pretty significant potential issue when playing this game, where the cars that I make can potentially be way overstyled and just kind of crappy looking, but we're gonna have to experiment before we can figure out if that's the case or not. And this is definitely the time to do that. Right, the fender on the back is absolutely massive. That is a wide load right there. Right, so I picked out taillights, and the first ones that I picked are actually perfect. It just fits so well, especially with the front. I think this car just kind of looks like it's sad all the time, and that's a good thing. As odd as that is to say. One thing I'm going to try while we're here is I messed with my previous car like this. I put a lip on the back. So yeah, if we leave that lip there just as a demo, and then we paint it just like a black. See what I mean? It looks okay to just have a little bit of black on the back there. Yeah, that's not bad actually. I'm going to leave that just as is. I really like the plain look on the back, but I think that we're going to need a spoiler of some kind. Now, the wings are pretty cool, but this car, I just feel that it needs a spoiler. Oh wow, okay, I think we might end up not doing that. Let's go for a wing instead. Oh no, that's horrific. That's real bad. This is definitely a lip kind of car, I think. So we'll just leave it as is. I think that's going to be okay on the back end of things. So the front is a little bit ridiculous. It has a lot of lights. It has a lot of things going on. The back is very simple, but we need something to just wrap it up. We need some badges. I haven't been doing this, and I admit that I should be, just because the badges are quite fun. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to put turbo on the back of it. 16-liter V8 twin turbo. That's not something you see every day. Or sorry, V12. It's not a V8. Let's put a name on it as well. It's sort of a Camaro, so let's call it the. It's just called the B. No. We need a proper name for it. Honestly, it looks a little bit funky on the back, the Bemaro, but I like it. Valentine's Day special. Oh no, I just realized B like be mine and then marrow. Now, I had somebody suggest that I should raise the spacing. We will do that just for the sake of trying to make something a little bit better. So if we raise it to 75, its first gear goes up to 62 kilometers an hour, which is not going to take very long at all in this car. So let's go semi-slicks. We're going to need, I like 20s on this model. I don't know why. We're going to have to go as big as we can. And when it comes to widths, we can go up to 375 on the back. That just looks really awkward. So I'm going to do let's do 305s on the back, 300s on the front, and we'll just poke them out. Yeah, there we go. So you can see it's wide and planted now. I think that is just a better way to do things. We did not change the wheels, I'm now realizing. Right, so I think we're good here. We're going to go alloy wheels. Oh, you know what? We also forgot to put a symbol in the grille, so let's quickly do that. So unfortunately they don't have bees, so I've instead gone with this eagle thing. I just like the look of the symbol in the grille. I think that looks okay. Okay, skipping ahead back to brakes. Right, so carbon ceramic brakes are a little bit awkward in Beam for some reason. We're still going to use them, but we're going to be cautious. If they don't work out, then we will go back and change them. But I'm going to have to make them big, just not huge. I've made the mistake in the past of having way too big brakes, like the brake force was just way too high, so I don't want to make that same mistake. We'll do 335s on the back and 370s in the front. We're not doing 6-piston, we'll just do 4-piston, and we'll make the back 2-piston. I've had it in the past where I would just hit the brakes in a car, and it would just instantly lock up, and that's just too much. We can't have that. So under tray, we're going for that for sure. Downforce, we do want downforce. The reason is we don't really care too much about the top speed, like we're never going to hit that. So let's just go for a full 75. I've never had an issue with cooling a car in this game. We could make an engine that specifically is made to overheat, but I don't want to do that. No traction aids because they suck. Safety, we'll do advanced 2000 safety. So our 0 to 60 miles an hour is 2.1 seconds, which is pretty fast. It seems to have quite a bit of wheel spin though. So there you go, this is the car. A 2,910 horsepower Camaro-ish 16-liter 60-degree V12 all-wheel drive, and it only weighs 2,500 kilos. Alright, let's export this thing to Beam, and we'll take it around the test track and we'll try it out. It's probably going to be ridiculously undrivable, but I must say it is one of the weirder looking things I have created. Hey everyone, so we're back into Beam here. So this is what our creation looks like exported, And I'm realizing that I forgot to put exhaust on it, but I actually like the clean look without. I think it actually looks pretty good. It's probably, well, it's mostly just that this body style is a good looking body style, and I'm also quite satisfied with the back, especially the Bemaro part. I like it. So this is by far the most powerful car that I have made in automation and then put into Beam, but I also have two more V12s, and they're up ahead of me, that I'll show you soon, that I've made, both off of the channel, with the one on the right being more recent. So let's take a look at this thing. How does it drive? Well, it makes a good sound, I will say that. It's not terrible. It does spin wheels in every single gear. And the brakes are a little weak, to be honest. They're not warmed up, but they're still just a bit weak. I think that I could have made them a little bit bigger and gotten away with it. It is immensely powerful, though. It is a ridiculously fast car. And I think it's probably going to be one of the fastest ones around the track. It can really reach some speeds as well, although we do have it geared to be a little slower, which is for the better, I would say. Oh, it is extremely hard on the suspension as well, but you can see it is just spinning wheels in all the gears, and it's still pretty tough. I mean, the engine broke there, but it's a reasonable car, I will say. It's not the worst thing I've ever made. No, that honor actually goes to the disco puck, if you've seen that video. But yeah, that's what's going on with this one. Now let's switch over to, this is the first V12 car that I made in the game. It is a, let's start it up. It's a 2600 horsepower car. The other one there is 2900, as you saw, we made that. But then the one back there is I think it's only 13 or 1400, so only 13 or 1400 horsepower, you know, just casual numbers. But yeah, this one is pretty quick. It suffers from some serious brake issues. It's also all-wheel drive because I'm very afraid to make a V12 that is rear-wheel drive. I guess I could do that in the future and try to make it usable, but this thing is quick as well. It is not slow by any means. I think it is slower than the new thing that we've created, but overall it is still blazingly fast. And it did hold the record on the previous track that I was testing cars on, as far as I remember. Yeah, this one, it's a little ugly. It doesn't have much in terms of like looks to it, because I was much more concerned with just kind of learning how to use the game properly and just trying to, oh no, we're going right into that. Oh, ouch. Yeah, I was much more concerned with just trying to mess with the game, and learn how to make cars, and that's essentially what I've done. Right, so the next one in our list is this one. It does not have a 16-liter V12. I think it's only 8 liters or something like that, 9 liters. The point is, it's not quite as big, but it is still all-wheel drive. It still does have over 1,000 horsepower. And I made it recently. I made it as practice for the video that I'm doing right now. I made it as practice for the car that I just made, as a way to test different ideas that I had on how I could potentially mess with the creation and make the cars look a little better than they have been. So yeah, this was that test. Basically, I tried things like, you can see at the back, it has the lip on the back, which is something I wanted to try, and it also has side exit exhaust, which is something I forgot to do. It has a spoiler. It's got it also has decals. I called it the Yilvia. It's also turbo. It's got vents. The front of it is a little bit ugly, but I did try on that. I was just trying to make something a little bit different. Just trying to make something that was a little more unique than what I had previously been making. So yeah, I figure the best thing to do with 3 V12 cars is to drive them around our test track And we'll just have to see. Oh goodness, we'll just have to see. Oh no, I'm bad. We'll just have to see what we can do with these. I have a feeling that the newest car, the one we just made, is probably going to be the most powerful, but we will have to wait and see. Yeah, so let's go there now and we'll see what kind of lap times we can set. So if you're unfamiliar, we have currently got a few lap times on the board. We've got our LMP track car, which was purpose-built for the track. It has a 2:33, and what I've been doing is 2 laps, so it counts a total of 2 laps. We have our... my girlfriend made this car. It's quite a nice car, but it's in second place with 2:44. I have a feeling it's going to be dethroned today. We have the drag car and the drag car again, but this is the best time that I managed to get with it. I'm just going to do once for each of these cars. And we also have the van. I took that around the track. It got a 308. Not horrific. So yeah, let's quickly go on to these cars. I think the first one that we're going to do is the one that I've driven the most. We're going to take the 2600 horsepower vehicle around the track, and we are going to see what it will do. Alright, so we're lined up here on the starting grid. I've got all the... Oh, hold on a minute. We've got to disable ESC. For fairness, I'm going to be using no traction control, and I believe all these cars are dual clutch, but yeah, let's see what we can do here. Hopefully I don't spin out. So we're off to a pretty wicked start with this thing, all-wheel drive, 2600 horsepower. That is what you would expect. I am going to allow the cut that I've been doing. It does make things quite a bit quicker around the track. Oh goodness, we're having brake issues into the first hairpin. That's something that I would definitely expect from this vehicle, just because its brakes were not well designed. I have a feeling by the second lap this thing is going to be hot. Like, it is already very hot. And there's the skip right there, so we'll just allow that to happen. Oh no, front brakes have gone solid red. This is... Oh no, we're spinning. Oh boy. Alright, we're coming around this corner a lot better than we did last time. Just going to have to be careful and accelerate. We were bumping the red limiter hard there. Oh, we gotta slow down. No! Oh my... Alright, we're back where we were before. Going down the straight. I have learned that in this car you just cannot hit full throttle ever. The lap was a tad slower than it was previously, but that's also because I'm trying to be cautious and actually trying to get through this well. But a 115 is not bad. I think if we continue on this, we'll be in first place overall. Oh goodness, we're rounding the last corner and all the brakes are on fire. Oh no. Alright, we just have to hit it here. Can't hit it too hard, but we just have to hit it. And we're just pedal to the metal. 111, that is a very fast time. Oh yeah, that's first place right there. Alright, so this car, the first car, the 2600 horsepower one, has managed to get a 227.4. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, so up next is our slightly underpowered car. By underpowered I mean it's somewhere around 14 or 1500 horsepower. This one should be a little bit more manageable, I think. And I know that its brakes are better because I actually put some time into them. So hopefully we can do even better than that other car. I know also it weighs significantly less, so that should help a lot. Goodness. You've got to really hit the brakes hard coming around that corner there. Alright, we're doing really well, I feel. This car is very, very quick. Probably the quickest car I've driven around this track. Goodness, hard on the brakes coming into that lap, but we got a 112. The last time our previous car, its best lap was the flying lap at 111, and this car in its stopped lap, with a few minor issues, got a 112. So I feel that this one might be the top contender. Alright, we are rounding the last corner here. Almost came to a dead stop around that corner, which is dumb. This lap unfortunately did have a spin out, but hopefully Oh goodness, 116. That might not be enough. Second place. Oh goodness. I think that if I hadn't have spun out, it definitely would get a first. But we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there for now. We can come back another time and do it. But let's get on to the grand showing here. The one that you've been waiting for. Alright, so we're lining up with the grand finale here. The Bemaro is incredibly loud. Oh, but it's got great brakes though. It's got such wicked acceleration because of the short gearing. Hopefully we can come out on top. We can beat the reigning champion, the green muscle car. Wow, its brakes are just, they're cooler than all of the other brakes so far, even going under pressure. And I'm being very conservative with the speed. Oh my goodness, it squeals the tires in every single gear. Maybe we should have put bigger tires on it. I just don't like the look. They just look so awkward. Goodness, wow, that was a real quick lap so far. We're coming in down the final 2 corners. Oh my goodness. A pretty spotless lap as well. Can we do it? .110, that is the fastest lap I've had around here. Goodness. Let us continue. This car has just so much torque. I'm having such a hard time getting it to stay still around the track. Like it just... Oh no! Goodness, we're never going to be able to repeat that 110 lap, but my goodness, this thing is just wickedly fast. It has brakes for days, but they just don't seem to click exactly as hard as I want them to. We'll have to adjust that on future cars. Or I might have to make a video going back and addressing the issues with some of the previous ones. One thing to note is that the engine has not had any issues at all so far. It did say that it was like a 20-something% chance to break some of the more expensive bits on the interior of it. But thankfully none of that has happened yet. So even driving it around the track, it is not braking that much. Right, so let's come around these last 3 corners here. That's 1, 2, okay, come on. And then the last corner here, 3. And we'll give it everything we have, and hopefully this thing can come out on top. It is squirrely, to say the least. Oh, goodness. There we go. Oh, wow. 221. It is 6 seconds faster than the fastest car. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you're enjoying this series. This is a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun racing these cars around the tracks and just doing generally stupid stuff. Making a 2900 horsepower car with a 16-liter V12 is just one of the ideas I have, but if you happen to have some other ones, please let me know. I'm always taking ideas. I'm interested to see what you want to see on this channel, so just let me know. And thank you for all the feedback. See you again in a couple days.